Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have an announcement of the utmost importance. The shades of truth have shown me a grim, dark future where there's only war. Those of you celebrating victory over the automatons do it blindly. The Ministry of Truth has been corrupted and is lying to you. You need to remove your shades and see the truth. Our enemies are only getting stronger while you get complacent. Thinking we're one step away from total victory will only cause our downfall, because it won't just be the automatons coming back in an even greater force. The Terminids will be getting massive enemies, stronger than we've ever seen before, and while we're at our weakest, some will begin to doubt moderated democracy and maybe even freedom. And that's when the Illuminate will come. These videos and images that I've gathered were intercepted from the illegal broadcast when I was battling in the creek, and will contain heavy spoilers from extensive data mining and leaks extrapolated from the superweb. But I've been posting almost all this stuff in my Discord to prepare us, but we still might get wiped out if we aren't careful. So lighting this off, we have to talk about the rise of the cyborgs and their homeworld Cyberstan. That's where the first uprising will take place. These cyborgs broke away from Super Earth, saying that moderated democracy is a lie and that we're all just brainwashed, which is honestly ridiculous. There's no way the levels of freedom we've been handing out could possibly make us the bad guys, or even be wrong. I could never be wrong handing out freedom, and you couldn't either. But this breakaway faction started modifying their bodies into machines and modeled the automatons after them. These villains are the creators of the machine menace that will rise up with pure hatred for us after trying to remove their perfect image from the galaxy. And once they combine their forces, they will be more powerful than anything we could have imagined, upgrading the automaton fleet and even adding a boss type enemy that will have every weapon under the sun to bear down on us, and orbital artillery that we'll have to destroy so that we can keep our super destroyers in orbit as the last line of defense. But there was also a video that leaked that the Ministry of Truth was trying to hide from us. So this is our first heavy spoiler, and skip to the next timestamp if you don't want to see it.
Freedom's greetings. I'm Coretta Kelly. In a shocking development, a massive automaton fleet has invaded Cyberstan and the surrounding systems. Early reports indicate that this armada may be over 10 times larger than all previously encountered automaton forces. Currently, there is no information about the source of these new automatons or their connection to the automaton forces encountered previously. The unprovoked assault lasted merely hours, quickly overwhelming the relatively undefended planets on the galactic fringe. The President has already issued a response, saying, "This attack occurred as we were nearing a permanent end to conflict with the automatons. Now, it is clear that there can be no peace until every automaton is utterly destroyed." The Helldivers have begun a counteroffensive operation with the ultimate objective of retaking Cyberstan, the apparent base of automaton operations. That's Liberty's latest. I'm Coretta Kelly.
This armada will be over 10 times larger than all previously encountered automaton forces, so not only was the Major Order a trap, it forced us into this future. And honestly, this story arc is insanely cool, but I tried to warn you, and now they're going to come for Super Earth. But it's not just the cyborgs that are coming for us. The Terminids are coming too, because the TCS system is also failing. We've been hearing whispers of it on our super destroyers, but it caused massively increased reproduction and mutations like we've never seen before. This is the full broadcast they were trying to hide from us.
Freedom's greetings. I'm Coretta Kelly. New updates on the backfiring of the TCS in the Meridia system. Here's the latest. A preliminary investigation by the Ministry of Science reveals that the termicide initially worked, quote, as intended, eliminating 99.6% of the Terminid population on all barrier planets. However, on Meridia, some of the remaining Terminids not only survived, but actually began reproducing up to 20 times faster than before. Scientists are now calling the planet a Terminid, quote, super colony. The mutations caused by the termicide appear to be random, but according to the report, it is only a matter of time before the same reaction appears on the rest of the barrier planets. The Helldivers may be in a race against time to deactivate the TCS before this occurs. In other news, the disgraced scientists who developed the termicide have been taken into custody and are to be investigated for dissident infiltration. That's Liberty's latest. I'm Coretta Kelly.
I know it's a lot to take in, but their hive lords will rise up from the ground and attempt to take our freedom into the depths with them. The bones you see on the planets aren't bones at all. That's their mold. They're so much larger than you could ever imagine. They will be one of our greatest threats. And the chargers are going to have bile variants that may possibly explode on death. I can't imagine sliding chargers that explode after and just cause a team wipe, but the clips are going to be gold. So I'm looking forward to the bile variant, like, probably more than anything. And the only thing I wasn't sure about that I couldn't find after digging around quite a bit was if there would be full bile variants of the enemies like brood commanders and hive guards. So we will see if we get those. Like, we do have scavengers and warriors already, so we'll probably get them, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. And we are going to have to do some new missions to try and shut off the TCS so we don't get overran. And apparently we're also getting a bunch more weather effects like acid rain. So we'll have a lot to deal with when the Terminids start rising up. And if we learned anything from Starship Troopers, it's that there's a ton of bug sympathizers. They'll betray us when we need them the most. But there's another group that we'll have to worry about even more. And this leaked Illuminate audio speaks volumes of the terror to come.
The tentacles!
That's right, the tentacles are coming, and if you're exposed to them too long, they'll shatter your mind and probably make you watch a special Japanese broadcast. Not that most of us mind that, but I know the tentacles will take many of us, and there will be a lot more tentacle sympathizers than bugs because of this evil mind control technology. But whether it's them manipulating us or just the tentacles, we'll have to wait and see. But it will warp your sense of freedom, and they'll be a lot more imposing and dangerous than most people can imagine, because you're going to have to start bringing weapons that specifically counter them. They have energy shields and stealth, but they don't have heavy armor. Well, most of them shouldn't have heavy armor. We'll have to see. But most of them are weak to anything with a high rate of fire, laser weaponry, and fire damage, so keep that in mind when you go to fight them. We also have a few pictures of the enemies that are coming into the game, and whatever this floaty thing will be, I can already tell it's going to be annoying, but the Walker is straight out of War of the Worlds, and it's probably going to be one of the coolest things to fight in the entire game. And the person who posted this is called Iron Sights, and he said that it also had a horn in the game file, so I can't imagine a low-vis planet where you just hear this thing coming from the distance and you see that like blue light appear and it just starts walking at you. It's going to be so cinematic, and that's the thing I love most about this game, is like the entire cinematic, the whole aesthetic of like playing through a mission is just so cool, and it's just going to keep getting more insane as time goes on. On top of that, there's so many things getting added to the game files constantly, and I just keep finding more and more random things laying around that it blows my mind, and it feels like we only have maybe a third of the game right now. But things like clan space stations are going to be getting added, so we'll have our own like guild systems, and that's something I want more than anything else, being able to just hang out with everybody in the community. And weapon attachments are going to genuinely change everything. I know that it's like, oh, this changes everything, it's insane, but like, I think that the current weapons are balanced around having those in the future, and I've been kind of wondering why we have so many resources constantly stacking up with no progression, and why the devs wanted the primary weapons to be so like mediocre at a baseline. And with some of the upgrades that are in the game files, they are going to get pretty ridiculous, and all the different ammo types and everything are just going to make them like excel at exactly what you want them to. And after seeing everything that is coming, that will eventually come out, there is just a ton of depth in the future of this game, and it feels like we have barely scratched the surface. Now, I do want to make sure to shout out the entire Helldivers 2 leaks Reddit that have been dropping stuff like crazy since the game launched, and everybody in my community that dives into the game files and stuff. I really appreciate you, everybody, honestly. Just being able to dive in and see all this different information is so fun, and I've linked every single Reddit thread that I've referenced with images in this video from down below, and everything else is posted in the Datamine channel in my Discord. And the more I get into it, the more excited I am to just keep working together with everybody to force freedom on everything we encounter. We just have to be careful to not lose to the enemy within, because I keep seeing a lot of weak-minded individuals celebrating our victory over the automatons, thinking we have won, and that we're just going to easily steamroll the rest of the story that they have set up for us. And that is the furthest thing from the truth that could possibly be imagined. But I already see people constantly talking about a map reset if we win. They do say ignorance is bliss, and as it stands right now, we won't be the ones winning with this mindset, because killing every enemy in the galaxy is never going to be a reset win for Super Earth. The only time the map will reset is if they kill us and destroy Super Earth itself. The end may be coming, ladies and gentlemen. And now that you have all this information, will you be ready to go fight to the death for moderated democracy? I know I will be, because I always fight to the death. I just never die.